What's good, people? And today I'll be going over with you the pick and roll game in NBA 2K22 on current and next gen consoles. Some common mistakes you can avoid, how to run it effectively, and help you stay ahead of whatever your opponent throws at you when you do. So alright, let's get it. With the pick and roll, obviously the goal is to create mismatches and maintain these mismatches throughout the play with different answers no matter what the defense does. So I'm going to go over that with you. But first, for those unfamiliar, to call for a pick and roll, you hold the L1 or LB button on your controller and the player will start to move towards you when you see an icon appear above their head, if you have the pick and roll icons enabled. And by holding L1 or LB, the game will pick who screens for you by whoever is closest to the ball handler between your power forward and center. So let's say your power forward is on the wing and you pass it to somebody. If you hold L1 or LB, he will then set a screen because he's the closest of the two bigs to the ball handler. Now you also can quickly hold the L1 or LB button and let go of the controller as well, and they'll set a screen. But the pop-up that lets you change the type of screen and size you want will be gone. Now instead of letting the game choose who to screen for you, you can manually decide who you want throwing their body around for you by tapping the L1 to LB and then hold the icon above the player you want to come over his head. While on current gen, it's a bit different. After you hit L1 to LB, you then hit R1 or RB for positional play calling before you hold the player's icon. So if you want to run a pick and roll between James Harden and let's say Patty Mills, he's a little guy, but if you want, you can do it by holding the circle button, and here he comes, by you manually setting this up. So you can get some interesting combos by doing this, and there's a workaround to make use of somebody playing guys like Michael Porter Jr., Kevin Durant, or in general a bigger small forward there. Now you're also able to slip the screen, which tells the screener to immediately bolt to the hoop if the lane is open because the screener's guy is hedging, or a switch is happening, which can create a nice angle for you to pass to a streaking man, all by tapping L1 or LB on your controller anytime before they make contact with the defender. Which if they do make contact, they will then carry out their assignment and cancel the slip screen opportunity. Faster bigs are the most obvious guys to take advantage of this. You can also change the type of screen you're getting or switch the side they're going to set to when you call for the automatic or manual screen. And to change the type of screen you're getting, by default your guy will roll to the hoop. But if you have a big who can shoot like a Karl Anthony Towns, you may want to change it to a pick and fade. And you do that by hitting R1 or RB on your controller while still holding the pick and roll button. And to switch the side they're set up at, you click in the left stick on your controller. And make a note when you're calling for the pick, there's a horizontal line and then a vertical line underneath. The line going up and down is the side the screen will happen on. If the up and down line is on the left, your guy will screen on the left side of the ball handler. If the up and down line is on the right, he will screen on the right. And you can still move around with your player and dribble while you're making these adjustments as well, so you don't have to be completely still. Now the thing is, when you call for a screen with whomever you choose, you actually want them to connect or at least mess up your matchup's positioning because of it and capitalize on that, right? So firstly, you don't want to be predictable. Do you use the screen immediately as soon as he sets every time? If you do, then what's stopping you use the defender from flying around the screen as soon as he sees him set up? Or switch off and gear up to blitz you with their hedge defender and ruin the whole play. Just because you call a pick, you don't have to use it 100% of the time. You have to show a willingness or at least threaten the ability to reject the screen and go the other way to keep them honest. You can call a screen with the sole purpose of baiting defenders into it even to open up a lane back the other way. Or if you're determined to use the pick and roll every play, changing up the timing of it can also work wonders if you have it in the back of your mind that you're altering when you go so they don't jump it. And the possibility of the defender showing his hand early and moving out the way so you're ready to strike. Progressing on that idea further, using hesitation moves behind the screen by flicking the right stick down can bait defenders and also give you more time to assess the best way to go. And secondly, the defender must be on the same path as the screener, so if the defender were to move side to side, he will slam right into him. When you call for a pick, the game will either set it above the three-point line initially if you're anywhere beyond that, and then the screener will take another step towards you to line up with the defender if he wasn't already. Or they'll set up inside the three-point line if you're hovering around the three-point area. So it's important they're lined up to actually make contact, or else they can easily go right around them and cancel out the advantages the pick and roll is trying to give you. Now you're still going to need to make smart passes. First and foremost, when they're coming around the screen, you want to ask yourself a couple questions. Am I open? So you're focused on getting your shot first and not missing a wide open dunk, layup, or jumper because you're staring elsewhere. Next, if you're not open, is my screener, whether he's rolling or fading open. If he's not, move on to something else. I repeat, move on to something else. You don't have to force this pass. If the big is running down the middle with a guy on him, you don't have to force it here. Try something else if the look isn't there. But if he is open, this is key. You still have to see if the pass is actually able to be completed. He could be open, but still have a low chance of completing the pass because help defenders are roaming. Guys are quick on the sticks and will snatch the ball no problem at all. So once you notice your guy has an opportunity to catch, you already should be watching the defenders to the side of him to see if they're rotating. This can lead to you making a safe pass to the roll man or a kick out to the second read once the defender rotated over because you weren't fixated on passing to the roll man. You're already thinking of the next read and looking out for it. And a more aggressive opponent who's quick on the sticks will even force you to hit your third read even as they rotate over to your first and second. I talked about the checklist before, so you want it to essentially become in your head, can I score? Can the big score? Can the guy chilling around the three-point line score? Now, if you notice your roll guy has a clear lane to the hoop, it's alley-oop time. On curve gen, you still just need to double tap triangle or wire your controller to connect. But on next gen, you got a meter. Yay! That you ideally want to land inside the white tick to avoid getting slightly earlys or lates. And once the swinging meter gets close to landing inside the white tick is when you want to hit square or X on your controller to lock it in. But you still have a good shot of connecting on the alley as long as it's inside the green. Also, a couple of little things I want to go over. As long as you don't move towards the screen, you can move around while holding the call for the pick button and he will follow you and readjust his stance. But remember, this only happens as long as you don't let go of the screen button. And lastly, after an offensive rebound, if you can't immediately put the ball back up, executing a quick pick and roll against the clock gets you an easy scoring opportunity with the limited time you have to work with. Or if you're executing a play and it's being snuffed out, having and knowing how to execute a quick pick and roll can bail you out in a way. So with this video, I hope I was able to help you guys out new to NBA 2K22 or needed a refresher in this aspect of it. Knowing how to set defenders up so they can't cheat against the screen and being able to capitalize when they do because you knew all of the possibilities is a good feeling. Even coming around the corner, things can turn left when you think somebody's open and they're really not. And I want you guys to see the whole court, not predetermine anything, as that can get you in trouble. So yeah, I hope this video was able to improve some aspect of your pick and roll game. And if you like the content we provide, make sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online for more NBA 2K content. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. All right, people, I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online. Thank you all for watching, and be good, y'all.